4th of July? Right? Here in the Northeast, it was hot and it was humid. It was like a steam room out there, right? But it was a great time to be with family. Or for some, on national TV, hosting an Independence Day spectacular like two of my panelists today, the guys from
American Ninja Warrior.
Please help me welcome Akbar, Gbaja-Biamila, and Matt Iseman, along with NBC's own Craig Melvin. How you doing, Melvin? Good to see you. Hi. It's a testosterone-filled room this morning.
They make a normal-sized man feel small, too.
So, 4th of July, big.
Yes.
You guys did the big spectacular we've been talking about. How did it go?
It was amazing. We actually got to give you credit because you had us on yesterday with members of the armed forces, and the members of the Coast Guard were kind enough to offer us a ride. So we started off the show on a boat.
Yeah,
we were on a boat going across the East River, which is incredible.
You know, the Coast Guard, and they were going up, picking up pretty good speed, too. We were trying to keep our balance. We had the official vest. I tried to take the vest afterwards, but they was like, no, you can't.
No, he was, they didn't show it. He was at the front of the boat going, I'm king of the world.
Look at you two guys.
In that, too, there was a ferry going by, and I said, hey, stop drinking. I'm with the United States Coast Guard. And Matt says, I don't think you can do that. That's a felony. I was like,
meanwhile,
oh,
are they like, aren't those the guys from American Ninja Warrior? Like, what? Huh? No.
They have no jurisdiction on the East River.
How about you? What'd you do, Craig?
I hung out with my family. I worked yesterday, and then afterwards we got to go with some friends. And I did not grill, but I enjoyed the work of people who grilled.
Right.
Look
at that picture. How old are your babes now?
4 and a year and a half. My son, as you can tell, had quite the time.
Yes, America.
Very excited about America's independence. Beautiful. How did you spend yours?
So I went down to the beach with my family, where we go every year, and every year they have this 4th of July parade for the kids, where they decorate their bikes with red, white, and blue, and then they call their names and they go through a little parade, and it was super fun. So I have an 8 and a 7 and a 4-year-old. My little guy is just learning how to ride a 2-wheeler. Okay. Right? Doug's been working with him on this, and so Doug said, "I'm going to start at the one end. I'll kind of get him started, right, along the little tiny little parade little area, and then you get him at the end."
Yeah.
So I said, fine, but of course I'm a mother, so I wanted to videotape his first time on his little. So I have this on camera for you. Here's what happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember,
oh boy.
All right, here's the little guy.
We did not allow wagering, but now
He's doing well.
Yeah.
He's doing good.
Evil Knievel right there.
I forgot that I was supposed to, like, oh my God, he's so cute, he's doing so, oh my God, he can't stop. Could have gone right into the bay.
You gotta get in and start swimming, huh?
Well, more importantly, how were the Zellners? Because we know they were probably about 3 hours after that. You said they were going to have to wait the whole parade.
No, but it was exactly right. The Zellners waited, and it was terrible because it was, I mean, it was only 80 degrees, but it felt like 200, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
That humidity.
Yeah.
Okay, but no matter how badly the Zellners, who are, if the parade goes alphabetically, these people are in the back is the point.
Yeah.
Had it. No one had it as badly as this poor woman in South Africa.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
You think you may have had a tough 4th? She was declared dead, and she was not dead. She woke up in the morgue. In the morgue, in the freezer, where she'd been declared dead, and one of the doctors came to check her out and noticed that this dead person was breathing.
And the doctor probably quit. That was the doctor's last day. She came back to life.
People ask me why I left medicine. That was not the reason, but I have a feeling in South Africa there's a doctor who may become a comedian and talk about it. He's not going to have a job as a doctor
Well,
anymore.
that's the problem, is it wasn't doctors. Apparently in South Africa, you can get diagnosed, you can get, like, treated by these private EMTs who show up, and it was these private EMTs who declared her dead, only she was not dead. And apparently, this is not, I don't want to say it's common, but it's not unheard of. Our researchers went through and found all these cases. First of all, it's called taphophobia, is the fear of being buried alive. And if you have it...
Which is a pretty normal fear. I don't know why that has a name. Like, there's someone who's like, no, I'm That doesn't scare me.
You're not alone.
Yeah, throw me 6 feet under.
2014, there was a 91-year-old woman in Poland declared dead. She woke up after 11 hours in the morgue, asked for hot tea and pancakes.
I couldn't imagine hot tea and pancakes. Get me out of here.
Give me a lawyer.
Yeah, right.
This reminds me of
rich.
Monty Python when they had that sketch, "Bring out your dead," and they're like, "I'm not dead yet." Yes, you are. Doink.
This woman, as I understand it, she'd been in a car accident.
Yes.
And she was lying there with some other people who were obviously dead. And I
Yeah.
guess maybe they just assumed that because she wasn't moving.
Well, no, because there's a condition they can check you. I'm trying to read
There's
my
a
science.
pulse. I know
There's
they've got the
something
pulse
called
thing here that you-
presumed dead people have catalepsy. Heartbeat and breathing slow down to almost imperceptible levels. And that's why it's so scary, because some people, like my husband Doug has this, like lives in fear that somehow somebody's going to say this has happened to him, which is why he wants to be buried with me in an above-ground mausoleum with cell phones that are permanently charging.
In the phone. But you know what? There's supposed to be this check that you go through. You check O2 saturation, the carotid, and the radial artery. And you check the blood pressure, all this stuff. But I mean, you think that if this is a private EMT that's going in to service them, didn't they go through all the proper
Yeah.
checks just to see if
You
they're
might
alive?
have. In the field, it can be difficult. And the problem, one of the biggest problems in medicine is once a diagnosis is made, correctly or incorrectly, the hardest thing is to reverse it, because people just
Even if it's
assume
death?
But people,
declared dead?
I'm telling you, they're dead. They're speaking. I don't know what's going on, but I said they're dead.
It's terrifying to me. I just can't imagine, like, waking up and understanding that, like, you're in a morgue, you're in a freezer, and there's somebody talking to you saying, "Oh no." Anyway, good luck in the recovery. We don't know the identity of the woman, and we don't know her condition, but she's declining
alive.
to make herself public. So hopefully that's a good sign that
Yes.
she's making decisions. Okay, and on the subject of decisions, Scarlett Johansson, one of our most famous actresses, has made one, and it's caused all sorts of controversy. She's going to be starring in a new film called Rub and Tug. She's going to be playing.
Wait, what's it called?
Stop that. I know. I mean, it's a. You know, have you ever heard
12.
that? Yeah. It's like here in New York, it's a term.
Okay.
Here in New York, it's a term for a dirty massage. Like if you want to get the X-rated massage. I'm sorry. That's what they say.
I thought it was like field day, like tug. Oh, okay.
I don't know what circles I've been hanging out in. I apologize. Okay, but anyway, that's the name of the movie, and she's going to be playing Dante Tex Gill, who is a transgender woman who's identified as a who's a transgender man, identified as a man but had been assigned female at birth. Some of the transgender community are very upset, saying, "Why can't you get a trans person to play a trans role? We have so few roles to begin with, and you have to have, you know, you're called cisgender if you're not transgender. You have to have a cisgender person play the role." Are they onto something?
No, and I'll say this, because you have to first define acting, and acting is creating a real behavior in the imaginary world of script, and you can get other people to play certain roles, and we've seen this before with Coming to America, one of my favorite movies. Eddie Murphy played a white man. You look at white chicks, the Marlon Wayne, Shawn Wayne, they played white women, so we've seen it before.
But they also played like black characters in the same film.
Yes, they did. Yeah. Yes, they did. But I guess my point is that when you look at it, that's the flexibility of it. And so to say that all of a sudden that a woman couldn't play in an imaginary world of script, couldn't play a transgender, kind of takes from the creativity of Hollywood. And I think the last thing is you look at Laverne Cox and what she's been doing with Orange is the New Black, but there aren't enough transgender lead like a Laverne Cox. And
That are super famous, like Scarlett
community needs to
Johansson.
grow.
But their
I think
response would be, if we can get cast in more roles, there might be more superstar transgender actors.
And the interesting thing is, she just had this exact thing happen with her last movie, which was the same director, Ghost in the Shell, which was based on Japanese manga, like a comic that was an Asian character that she played, and she was accused of whitewashing it. So she's going through it once again. That movie didn't do particularly well. I think it's really hard because as an actor to turn down a role, now people are saying she's financially set, but I think creatively you want to be challenged. And you think back to Tom Hanks, where he did Philadelphia, Forrest Gump, and Apollo 13. And obviously he wasn't any of those characters. It was great acting. But I understand where they feel like times are changing, and the only way transgender actors are going to get these opportunities is by giving them prominent roles.
Well, and that's a good point. And I mean, the Tom Hanks example is a good one because he played a gay man.
Yes.
And he's not a gay man, but he drew so much attention to that role. He was an Oscar winner for that role. And the movie itself did so much good for the gay community in calling attention to a serious issue. You know, on balance, did the community benefit more or suffer more? How many people would have gone if they had cast somebody who was lesser known than Hanks?
Felicity Huffman did it in Transamerica. She played a transgender and was nominated for a Golden Globe.
That's what Scarlett Johansson's people are saying. They
Jeffrey
issued a statement.
Tambor in Transparent. He won in Transparent, but when he won the Emmy, he said, "I hope I'm the last cisgender person who portrays a transgender role." But I think financially, I also understand for Hollywood, Scarlett Johansson's a bankable name.
She's a pretty
Right.
And so it's hard. But their argument would be, how do we get to be bankable if we don't get these roles? So I don't know that it's an easy answer.
Well, I mean, and it also becomes potentially problematic if you say you can only play what you are, right? Because then can
We can only play incredibly handsome men.
But you don't want the trans community. You don't want the trans community to be told they can't play cisgender roles, right? So it's like you have to be able to play.
Question.
It is, right?
It's we've had a number of conversations on this show about the transgender community and the LGBTQ issues, and it's, you know, these are only going to be questions that are asked in various forms over the next few years, I would imagine. I don't know
The good thing is that it is at least prompting a discussion.
Yes.
And again, that transgender people, I think, are feeling more
I forgot that you were an actor in addition to your many roles.
I was on General Hospital, where I'm a doctor.
I didn't know this either.
Wait until you hear this. I'm a doctor on General Hospital. They're like, no, we don't believe you as a doctor. What they did believe
He's an
me
actual doctor.
What they
He
did
is-
believe
He went to
me
Princeton.
as was a date-raping kidnapper.
Wow.
And that was
talk
not
about
good when I got
stereotypes.
recognized by women for that. Like, oh, you were on General Hospital. I'll get my own drink, thank you.
All right, on that note, by the way, Scarlett Johansson, her publicist, did give us a statement saying this is in response to the critics, saying tell them that they, meaning the critics, can be directed to Jeffrey Tambor, Jared Leto, and Felicity Huffman's reps for comment. That also got blowback because this is a world in which blowback results in blowback and then more blowback. And when we come back, we're going to talk about a trophy for everyone, our country's latest step toward the everyone's a winner mentality on college campuses.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.